guys, this is the second part to making the Attack on Titan straps. I split it up into two parts because I thought it might be a little long, and also I didn't have the buckles. I was going to use D-loops, but I finally found the store, AC Moore, that had buckles, not gold, but silver, which is fine. I'm going to be doing the bottom part of it, and I'll post pictures throughout it. This isn't going to be too much talking in it, but just going to focus on getting the bottom part done and then buckling up the top. So as far as the top part goes for the buckles, just like I did in the past tutorial where you just pretty much guess and check, you're going to want to go ahead and just keep on guessing and checking. I think it's the best way to fit sizes unless you have a mannequin that's already been preset to your size. So for the buckles right here and the buckles around the waist, I just pretty much put in a safety pin and then moved it and adjusted around until I thought it looked centered. And if it doesn't, if you already find that you sewed it and it doesn't look absolutely perfect, you can always use your thread cutters to cut the thread and try again. Then we're going to work on the straps for the bottom part. Alright. So I put the bottom part together, and I'll have a picture of it. And I started at a reference point in which I used this patch right here. Ouch! And I just pretty much just, let's put this patch on, see, and I folded the other side together and put the other patch on there because it was kind of difficult to get to pin it while I had it on because I don't have a mannequin. So I have all the pieces. It looks weird, but I haven't pinned them together. Grab my thing of pins. Be careful with these pins, guys. And I'm just going to try to situate everything on so I can sew it. And I should have wore a different pair of shorts because it's kind of hard to get it to look okay with these shorts on. So bubble them up. Okay, yeah, I can build this. I just have a little bit of slack left over from this part. Just this part. But this part is too long. So Okay, so I got 2 straps on. Okay, now I'm gonna fix this part. Okay. Again, it looks like less is more. Less is better, rather. Just to stay. Ow. Ow. Okay, so I have me trying to figure it out. So here's the side. I should have wore white. Easier to see. Here's the other side. It's got a little bit of flapper except maybe just. Here's the back. I can't really see it that well, so both of them looks okay. And then this part right here is dangling part. Got it attached a little bit past these instead of so close to here because there wasn't enough space. They're supposed to go here and here. I'm ready to go some Titans. Hopefully I'll live. And what I'm going to do for this part, because it was virtually impossible to get just to hop in, and my phone's ringing. Okay, I'm going to sew it here. I'm going to sew it here so that way I can get some Velcro so I can bring it down right here, because it's going to be a little hard to step in with all these other pieces. So where's progress so far? They don't really have, so I should sew it for you guys, but I don't want to because I mean, you can put it up, I'm going to put it up right now. Okay, so try to be straight as I can. I don't have the top part buckled in, but yeah. Okay, so I'm doing the leg straps, and I decided to do slits right here, and it saves you not only a lot of time on putting it on and adjusting it, but it also gives you a lot of room for insurance. I won't say error, but insurance. Because pretty much what I did was I found a way to make it function like a real belt instead of having it sewn right here, where if it doesn't fit, you're either going to have to cut or take your thread cutters and cut the threads you sewed and re-sew it. Now you can just pull it through. So look, oh, it turns out my middle of my leg is this way. Well, I'll just pull it through and pull it through. So that makes it a lot easier to adjust, and it saves you a lot of time trying it on, because when I was trying it on at first, I had pins in all 4 corners, pins here, then I just sewed this part, got pins here, and pins there, so it's a little obnoxious to try on. So I'm gonna, and I always, for the buckles, I double sew it, just in case, because I'm not really sure which thread to use to do jeans and stuff, but this is something that's going to have a lot of, that's why I want to pick a fabric that definitely can stand some stretching. So, alright. And when I do sew these, I put the pin in farther away so I can get it as close to the top, and then I do another one. So, I've been trying out different thread patterns, so I've just had so many different ones, just because. With all brown thread, it doesn't matter. And be very careful that when you are making your adjustments that you do sew the buckle on correctly. Don't have it if it's stuck like this and you sewed it like that, it might not work. So just go ahead and make sure you sewed it correctly on there. Boop, boop, boop. There's the pin right here, and there's right here, and I'm going to sew right here, and then sew right there. All right. Okay, I just finished up making the complete straps. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. I'm happy with the results. This is the gist of it. The back's a little flappy right here, but that is okay because this part right here I can actually take off. It's not completely, is it built in? Oh, it might be. That's okay. I don't mind. This is my first time ever doing something like this, and I love it. So, as you make your costume, depending on how you want to make it practical, now I tried to make mine as practical as I could, and practical I define as a costume that functions as it functions in the show versus one that looks like it's functional. It's up to you. Really, it's all about how much time you have. Since this is just straps on like a moving part, like a Gaunt's costume or some other kind of costume that actually has a lot more fabric to deal with than just straps. So this is just straps, so it's a little bit easier to make it practical. Some things that I run into trouble with are the leg parts. It doesn't really show you how it's connected, so I used the Velcro to kind of pull it down under the knee. And this part right here, it's put together with Velcro again because, by golly, when you step into the thing, I have a lot of good curve. It's kind of hard to get into it if you leave it right here for your waist. So your waist, I don't know if some of you, if your waist is a lot smaller than your butt, but I ran into that issue. So solved that by just sewing it at the bottom, but keeping it Velcro at the top. That way, when I put it on, it's like a jacket that I have to step through, and the only part I have to step through is the bottom part. So I put it on like a jacket, buckle it up here, buckle it right here, attach the strips, and I would recommend for the day of the con to vest in an Acto Knife, which I used to make the holes for the notches for my belt. This part was a little bit too thin right here, that's okay. It's my first time doing it, that's fine. I'm completely satisfied with the results. Oh man, that's what I can say. Please be careful with this. It's not a toy. It's a fun tool, but it's very sharp. But invest in the Acto Knife. That way, while you're just fiddling with your straps, you can just poke a hole through your straps with the Acto Knife and then make a new notch. And the last part I'll have to do is making a little belt loop that these straps go through because they're kind of like hanging here. They're quite long. I've gotten away with kind of like sticking them through this part right here, but some of them don't fit as well because they're short. I'm pretty happy with the results. I just picked a version of the costume that I wanted to do. And out of the yard, okay, so I have pretty much, there's lots of other straps, but this is the only little piece left of my half of a yard to make the straps. And I didn't use it sparingly either. I kind of just like drew some squares, drew some designs on it, so it does seem like I did a close call. Like I didn't have enough, but really it was. So if you want to go to the store and get a yard and a half, that'll be great. If you wanted some extra insurance, if you're not so great with sewing, or if you just want to have some extra leather left over, yeah. But I wouldn't go for 2 yards. That would be way too much. Because like I said, I didn't use it sparingly. I kind of just like drew it. I did use a lot of straps. I said I cut out 11. I think 11 or 12. I have to count my picture, but I did use way more straps in the little square parts and the back part. You don't even need the back part really. I just thought it would be cool to make. Kind of looks kind of like it's bird right here. That's okay. Because really, your wraparound will go here. Here's the crotch area. So the wraparound will have the crotch area here. I took my shorts off because it was hard to get the straps because they come up so up here. It was hard to do with the stuff, with the shorts on. Changed my shirt too because it's another day. Man, it's white. So really, your jacket will cover up this, and all you really see is this. Maybe you'll see this, but really your wraparound will do here. Your wraparound will stop right here, and your boots will come up to your knees. So really you're not going to see a whole great deal. The biggest parts in, if you want to just make sure you have this little triangle space right here, this space. You don't even really need the cross because you're not going to see, it's not that big of a deal, but the straps on the legs definitely. And then I guess the bottom's kind of strange. I guess the back part if you want to. But it's really up to you. If someone gives you some jazz, as always, you can tell them to kindly buy you a better looking harness. But really be proud that you attempted this, whether it came out exactly as you wanted or it didn't. Just be proud that you tried. Every time you sew is a new learning experience. I've never worked with leather before. It was very interesting to work with it. I was worried that it might not go through my sewing machine, but went right through it. And I'm borrowing my friend's sewing machine. It's a Sanger Touch and Sew foot pedal, but really it went right through it. The most difficult part with working with leather is getting the pins through because it can be kind of hard to get pins through, and it can be kind of hard to get the X-Acto knife through. And I am using a worn blade. Kind of using my blade that I use to cut cardboard with for another project for school. But yeah, had a good time doing this. Time it will take, I would say, a hard 2 days, and I define hard as not hard as in difficult, but as hard as you worked consecutively without break. So the first part took me without break about 3 hours to complete. And then this part took me the bottom part took about 2 hours today. And the other day was about another hour of just getting the needles through and pinning it up and continuously trying it on. Please try it on. Please be careful with the needles. But I know it's going to be kind of dangerous with a little death trap to put it on a few times. But please try it on all the time. You don't want to have to keep going back and using your thread cutters and I messed up, let's scrape root. But okay. This is turn around again. The Attack Titan straps. I'm going to post all of the reference pictures that I used for this costume in the links description, and I'm going to post my little draw up of the straps in the description as well. So all of those pictures that I use, I just lifted them off of Google. I'll post them in the description. Thank you so much for watching. And next week's video will be the jacket. And yeah, alright. Thanks guys. Have a great day.